So last year I decided to take some time out of my schedule to shine a light on some Switch games that you really should play, but likely haven't yet. The reception for that initial list was super positive, and a lot of you added some certified classics to your backlog, and that's pretty awesome. Quite frankly, the fact that as many people knew about Crosscode as you did warmed my cold, bitter heart. That game is that game is incredible. And a follow-up to that previous list, some of you may remember when I talked about Tori 3D and its sequel. Those became pretty famous for being these cute little cheap 3D platformers. If those games caught your eye, you would be happy to see that that developer has also since dropped a short Super Nintendo themed vertical platformer called Beanie and a short N64 themed collectathon called Super Kiwi 64. Figured I would mention them here because neither one will really take you more than an hour to complete, but I just love high quality bite-sized experiences like this, and there are so many on the Switch. No matter how niche a game may seem, the cream will always rise to the top. And yeah, not much has really changed. You know, a year has passed and a lot of games have come out, but I still spend far too much time and money from my life playing those Switch games. There's a lot. I've been playing a lot of Switch games. Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior Live Alive? Dude, this is like the greatest RPG ever, and quite frankly, I don't really care how well this game sold or didn't sell. The numbers don't matter to me because there will never be a time where enough people got around to playing this game. It is... oh my god, it's so good. Also, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. I feel like this game is too well known to have a proper spot on this list, but it also didn't really sell well the first time around, and I don't want that to happen again because this is an 11 out of 10 game right here, and promise me, you won't let this game fail again. I swear to God, play it. It's so good. Also, want to mention real quick, if you're a physical collector of Switch games upset about a game being digital only in America, like Ghost Trick, no worries because PlayAsia has your back in those situations. Something pretty cool that I'm happy about is I'm actually an affiliate with PlayAsia now, so you can use my links down below and also use the code ANTDUDE at checkout for any future purchases to get a few dollars off. Like, this isn't a sponsorship or anything, I just have an avenue now to save you collectors some money, and why not take advantage of it? Like that $70 Etrian Odyssey collection or the oddly digital only in America Baten Kaitos remaster. Hey, the links are down below and do that checkout. That's all I'm saying. You want to know one of the best parts about the Switch? It doesn't matter how many people swear on their lives online that we're nearing the end of this console's life. Doesn't matter. There's still a ton of games coming that all look great. But also that means a ton of indie games that are going to go under people's radars, and I ain't having it. So if you're one of those people who's struggling to find games to play in between the big releases, well, don't worry, I got your back. Here are even more games that have defined my time with the Nintendo Switch. Whether it be docked or playing in handheld, or maybe even playing the Switch in a brand new and unique way, like with the Viture One XR glasses. This part is sponsored, but it's Switch related. Don't worry, I got you. You're gonna get a kick out of this. The Viture One XR glasses is honestly one of the coolest pieces of gaming tech I have ever gotten to experience. The setup is simple. Load your Switch into this docking station, load up the mobile dock in the back, attach the appropriate cables including the one for your glasses, one of which is a magnetic connector, and I don't know, that's just kinda neat. And just like that, it works! Put on the glasses and this device will unlock a giant screen right in front of you, providing an isolated and immersive gaming experience unlike anything else. For example, a game that's already really immersive like Tears of the Kingdom, these glasses are a pretty damn good companion piece. It's a pixel-free 1080p 60 frames per second screen with a few opacity, brightness, and diopter options right on the glasses itself. It's lightweight, it's comfortable, it consumes very little power. Honestly, all this is super impressive. Hell, you can even attach a second pair of glasses for some of your favorite co-op games too. And it's not even just for the Switch. Any HDMI device will work with this, including the Steam Deck. I was kinda blown away by the XR glasses. Everything is simple, it just works, and it's almost magical getting to experience these games in a brand new way. If you're interested and you want to pair for yourself, and you should be, you can grab your dock pack by clicking the link down below and using the code ANTDUDE at checkout to get 10% off. The Viture One XR glasses is some super impressive technology, and once you get your hands on them, I think you'll say the same thing. Thank you to Viture for sponsoring today's video, and now, let's actually talk about some Switch games. If you watched the first episode and agreed that we need a lot more low-poly, fast-paced, bite-sized 3D platformers, well, first off, you got good taste. You're looking beautiful today, by the way. But second off, Lunistis is perfect for you. It's very rare that a game will show up and leave as strong of a first impression as this one did to me. The aesthetic is incredible with its pixelated look and landscapes just filled to the brim with every single color imaginable. The soundtrack is bright and bouncy, always like that for my platformers. And most importantly, it feels great to play. You're run, you jump, you got a spin attack, which doubles as an extra jump, Mario Galaxy style, and you get thrown into these surprisingly vast levels with the goal of collecting every shiny trinket you can, and even speedrun it if you so choose. And definitely go for that too, because there is a neat little secret at the end of the game to reward you for your troubles. There is some pretty nifty lore to dive into with this one, and it's definitely a fascinating plot, but I'm gonna be honest, that's not why I'm here. Bro, there's a music-themed level where the platforms move to the beat. You win a Game of the Year nomination on that alone. This is one of those adventures that hits the ground running, never once fumbles, and will easily pull some "damn, that was a good-ass stage" lines out of you during your time with it. It's only $5, it lasts about 2 hours, you can play as Tori. You see, this is what we call a comeback. Lunistis is an easy recommendation. And for the love of God, more low-poly platformers please. I will buy all of them. I never had cozy spiritual successor to Nintendo's Kururin franchise on my bingo card, but damn it, here we are. Now I'm sure this can't be the only game to mimic that style of the fairly forgotten Nintendo puzzle game, but Spin Frog all aboard the Frogcopter honestly is kinda better than the Big N's own attempts. The premise is simple. You're in a constantly spinning ship, and the challenge is to get good at constantly threading the needle to get around corners, avoiding walls, collect some items, and use those collectibles for some customization. Some of the stuff that you would expect out of a game like this. You do get some fancy little gimmicks from time to time though, like needing to deliver ice cream to people. Adorable. It's a gameplay format that maintains a perfect challenge, but man, the game's style is remarkable too. The color choices and the often crayon-drawn look of the characters, the dialogue that Garu and Bauf, great, is always endearing, especially when you run into other characters like Tilly, the socially anxious cat. Bro, that's relatable, I get it. And man, like, all of the music sounds like it's from a classic Pixar animated short, which is great. I love this, because the gentle tunes trick you into thinking that this is a nice, relaxing game until you crash and die dozens of times, and realize this game can be very, very mean. I love the Kururin games, but I really think this is my favorite form of that idea. The GBA titles are great, but being restricted to a D-pad can be a bit frustrating, which is remedied with the GameCube game Kururin Squash, but that game introduces a bunch of gimmicks that come up at a pretty quick pace that are fun, but Spin Frog remains a more simplistic take on that idea, and it results in a more consistent experience. Plus, anytime Nintendo refuses to make a sequel to one of their own IP and an indie dev comes through to fill that void, you got an easy fan with me. Well then, putting my money where my mouth is, here is one of those import physical copies that I'm such a big fan of, which, once again, there's a link down below if you wanted to, just saying. Hardcore Switch fans know that if you do enough digging through the console's library, you can find a whole lot of games that would be classified as, quote, anime trash. And while Metallic Child looks like it may give off that vibe at first glance, and like the girl who streams the action for her audience and begs you to be a part of it sort of works towards that case, I can see that. In actuality, this is a high-action roguelite adventure with a sort of Mega Man-styled progression system by having 8 levels to choose from the very beginning, with each boss giving you a unique weapon. You're constantly just running into a new room, you beat up a bunch of robots, you get graded by how well you did, and if you're lucky, you get some temporary upgrades to help you out for the immediate future, or change up your weapon type entirely to discover what works best for you. It's a really straightforward idea, but it ends up being satisfying trying to constantly go for high ranks so you can always get those high rewards, as well as always running the knife's edge of using some more powerful moves that take up some battery versus simply learning how to mash buttons real quick and get out of the way when necessary. And then if you die, well, GG. Try the level again. Idiot, it's a roguelite. I was kind of worried that this was going to be one of those cases of too much style and not enough substance, but I really enjoyed my time with Metallic Child. And plus, look at some of the customization options. I'm always a fan of these. The main character, Rona, is pretty adorable, let's be honest. Wait a second. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin is kind of a farming sim. Whoa, wait, hold on. Okay, so I get it, like farming sims have become a bit of an easy thing to rag on, I understand. I am personally glad that fans of that genre have so many options now, though I won't lie and claim that I'm one of those fans because I really don't care. To Sakuna's benefit though, the farming is fairly simplistic, as it's a combination of learning how to grow the best rice possible and basic area maintenance around that garden. The important part though is the benefit to good rice is that it's gonna buff you up for the real meat of the game and excellent side-scrolling platformer beat-em-up. Oh my god, it's so much fun. The movement feels great, nailing your attacks feels great. You got this grappling hook with a bunch of utility. This is so good. And the music, oh my god, the music is fantastic too. It ends up building up this great dichotomy where you want to just be stronger to take down the ever-growing threats that block your progression and master your brand new moves that you keep learning at a consistent rate, and you get to use your peaceful time to take a breather, hang out with your friends, and plan out your next rice crafting strategy to get the maximum output for said upcoming battles. And it all takes place in the same day-night cycle too. You gotta pay attention to that, as well as the weather, to not be stuck with the stronger enemies at night or let the rain come in and drown your crops. It really works so well. It's such a cohesive system. And Sakuna herself, she's just a great character. This spoiled brat of a harvest goddess who was just banished to the Isle of Demons after accidentally causing chaos in her homeland. So throughout the story, you get to see her grow as a character, as a warrior, and as a harvest goddess. Dude, this is a culmination of ideas that should be weaker than it is, but Of Rice and Ruin is truly something special that everybody should give a shot. Even if you're tired of the farming sims, trust me, I get it. Even if you're not a fan, this is one of the good ones. Further proof that cheaper, simplistic platformers can be an absolute blast, Dadish is pretty awesome. Now, I am kind of cheating here. There are currently 4 titles in this illustrious franchise. We have a straight up trilogy with Dadish 1 through 3, as well as Daily Dadish, which, yeah, this one's a bit strange, but the main gameplay loop is exactly the same in all of them. You play as Dadish, the dad radish, and all of your kids run away and get lost. In each and every game, you know, parenting, it's a tough thing. Thank God though that each individual one is just chilling out at the end of a simple platformer gauntlet. Phew. Yeah, there's really no frills to these. You got a jump button, and if you're feeling spicy, a double jump as well. And that's about it. It's solid enough platforming, but probably not super compelling yet, right? Okay, well, what if I told you that all of the kids are sassy and hilarious? Hi, Dad, are you about to tell me to come home? Yes, I've been very worried. Oh, me too. What do you mean? I'm constantly and deliberately putting myself in terrible danger. I pretend I'm doing it for the thrills, but really I just want attention. Neat. Oh, that was it. Bye then. You mean to tell me all I gotta do is be decent at a platformer and every level rewards me with a hearty little chuckle? Oh, sign me up. Especially when sometimes you get a screaming possum instead. Oh my gosh, each title in the trilogy is more or less the same. There are some different themes and stage hazards, you know, the usual stuff. Nothing dramatic to set each apart. Except for Daily Dadish, which has 365 levels in it, but you're only allowed to do 1 a day. That's very strange. I mean, there's a reason why Mario never attempted this idea, you know? But hey, you know what? After a great trilogy, the more Dadish, the better. Even if it's for only like 2 minutes a day, every single day, for an entire year. Okay, yes, I'm cheating once again, bringing up multiple games for one entry, but I can't miss an opportunity to give a massive shout out to DYA Games, a developer dedicated to making modern, retro-feeling games with some of the best detailed sprite work in the entire indie scene, in my opinion. Every one of their games exudes this incredible style featuring SNES or even PS1 era sprites with great shadows and lighting effects, and of their currently 5 released titles, no 2 play the same. We got a space shooter color matching combo with Super Starpath, an intense gallery shooter with Bot Vice, this nifty Breakout clone with some close combat and even co-op as an option with Strikey Sisters, an atmospheric psychological horror mystery Viviette, and finally a more action-y combat-focused horror adventure with Evil Tonight. Admittedly, of this group, Super Starpath is just kind of okay, but it is their first game to be fair. The remaining 4, on the other hand, all excellent. They're each only a few hours long, they ramp up challenge at a really solid pace, they encourage replayability for things like points in the case of Bot Vice, or better endings in the case of Viviette. They got incredibly atmospheric or really catchy soundtracks pending on the game. The Strikey Sister stuff, in my opinion, really good. And it's just cool seeing this under-the-radar developer manage to change things up with every single project while also making sure each of them is a great time in their own little bubble. And the sprite work, my god. It's so good. Retro enthusiasts looking for some new indie games to add to your backlog that are definitely way under the radar, look no further than the works by DYA Games. Fear not, everybody. I can tell some of you are getting worried. It's been a minute since I talked about another platformer, but here we go. Frogun. Remember earlier when I said we needed more low-poly 3D platformers? Yeah, this was another case of love at first sight, man. This game is N64 and PS1 as f. So get this, right? You play as this little explorer, Renata, on a quest to explore these ruins and find your parents. And naturally, you have a gun that is also a frog. It would be stupid to not have that. With this frog gun, you're able to use its really long tongue to grab enemies and items, throw them at other enemies, and also use it to fast forward your face towards big enemies and solid walls. I do feel like sometimes the camera can be a bit cumbersome trying to figure out just how to properly angle your shot, but quite frankly, that almost fits the aesthetic perfectly. A wonky camera in a PS1 aesthetic game? Yeah, that makes total sense. This is another platformer with very straightforward ideas and an aesthetic that taps into fan service of a bygone era in the best possible way. It's just a fun time, man. Levels have a handful of different challenges to go for, from getting all of these coins to getting the secret shiny item from the end of the secret rooms to simply speedrunning them. Replayability is high. But even if you're just a one and done type of person, the moment-to-moment platforming and light puzzle solving is a blast too. Every so often, after a few proper platforming levels, there's even a race, kinda harkening back to Ape Escape when that same exact thing would happen there too. I mean, I'm probably biased. I did back Frogun on Kickstarter. I was there right from the very beginning, and I knew it was gonna be great. Like I said, love at first sight. And hey, your best bet, play this game as soon as you possibly can, because you're gonna need all the practice you can get when it comes time for the sequel. Frogun is a franchise now, and that's just cool. I'm honestly really surprised that this one isn't just a little more well-known. Little Noah, Scion of Paradise, immediately struck me with its art style because it showed up out of nowhere, and it has the bravely default art style because that artist worked on this. And rather than using it for another RPG, we get a platformer beat-em-up roguelike with monster raising elements? Like, to me, this is the perfect combination to result in a certified hidden gem. Little Noah's history is kind of weird too, because this is technically a sequel to a mobile exclusive real-time strategy game of all genres, but nothing about this follow-up even acknowledges the previous adventure, so don't worry about it. This game is totally fine on its own. Obviously, this will all still depend on your liking of roguelikes, because regardless of how well the game plays, which it does, the gameplay loop of dying and constantly starting back at your base is just not for everybody. Oh, it kept this game a total joy for me and I wanted to keep playing it over and over again is the sheer amount of customization, either in the form of the things you can spend your money on to make your next run even better, or the overwhelming amount of monsters, or Lilliputs, that you can obtain on your run, which act as your 5-hit combo and special moves. You start with the same 3 every time, but you'll quickly get more with the ability to mix and match their placement in the combo string, which is really cool. You have a fully customizable moveset, and it just depends on what monsters you run into. But if you do find yourself gravitating towards the same ones every time, you can upgrade them specifically from the base as well. And on top of all of that, the difficulty also feels really balanced, which is very important for a roguelike like Metallic Child as well, because I've played so many roguelikes that are hell-bent on just ruining your life, and hey, that's the fun, idiot, get good at the hard game. But no, not here. It's nice to just have a game where it feels like my learning of the strategies is really rewarding, even if I do die a bunch of times. You may even have a moment where you think the game is really easy because it throws Lilliputs at you constantly, but damn it, I'm telling you man, one wrong move, that's it. GG, idiot. Back to the ship. Shout out to Noah for being the better non-RPG game to use the bravely default art style, because damn it, the console also has various day life and like, they got away with that? We just let that happen? Flynn, Son of Crimson. Another game that is probably easy to confuse when sat side by side by its pixel-based contemporaries, but man, every single minute I was on this adventure, it just felt special. Everything is laid out like a very standard quest. You're just a simple town boy who attracts a disease called being the chosen one, where it is quickly up to you to save the land of Rosantica from the evil scourge. Thank God you also happen to know how to use a sword. That's gonna come really in handy. It's a good thing that floating sword was in the room right next to you. All of the lands are very natural, the color palettes are more subdued, the sprite work and the animations are incredibly detailed, the soundtrack is atmospheric and often often sounds orchestrated. Rather than being just another pixelated platformer, this game really evoked vibes of the PS1 and early PC gaming era to me. You start off incredibly simple, but eventually gain access to brand new weapons, a rage meter, and even a skill tree. Hell yeah, always love a skill tree. You got a huge stallion companion, except instead of a stallion, it's a huge adorable puppy. That's amazing. Some of the bosses feel really menacing, and combined with the air of mystique the world provides, and that feeling of almost loneliness as you explore the unknown, it's almost magical. Okay, listen, I know I'm sounding incredibly cheesy right now, but more than most games are able to provide nowadays, playing through Finn made me feel like I was going on a grand adventure and filled me with childlike wonder that I had not experienced in a long time. Like, I can't speak for everybody, but that vibe certainly doesn't come around very often, for me at least. Some people have argued that this game is too short at only about 6-ish hours, but man, that's a selling point for me. I got a really solid beginning, middle, and end in a 6-hour journey. That's awesome. I mean, if anything, maybe that ending is a bit rushed, but with that in mind, I still much more appreciate a game that understands what it's doing and doesn't overstay its welcome than just taking far too long just for the sake of it because hey, this game has a billion hours of replay value. No thanks. Also, for a good chunk of that 6 hours, your dog is sick. Please, I beg of you, play Flynn, Son of Crimson and save the doggy. Save the doggy. He did nothing wrong. He deserves the best. And there we go, even more games to add to your wish list. Even though you probably didn't ask. The Switch has honestly opened my eyes to so many different types of games that I wouldn't have tried before, and you know, this far into the console's life, it still wouldn't feel right if I didn't take some time to share those experiences with you all who would be interested. Also, once again, you should play Live Alive, it's really good. Okay, bye.